Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, this weekend we had the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. One thing I'm going to try to start this year is on Monday evenings, kind of do a recap of the weekend that was in NASCAR. Typical recap, all three races, if there's 3 or 2 or whatever. If you watch NASCAR Satellite Radio Channel 90, you know on TMD they have the checkered flag and black flag on Mondays. Tuesdays is Tuesday's takeaway. On track they have the hot or nots from the weekend, and then Dave Moody always has a topic video like this was. Today's was what's your take on the Clash. So these recaps are going to be kind of over some things I thought were were noteworthy from the weekend. Kind of those kind of topics as well, kind of give my take on everything that happened. I'm going to try to do that every Monday night going forward for the season. So first we had practice on Saturday. We had Ty Gibbs' car in the first practice session had fire in the right front tire in the brake area, and then in the second practice for him, the car engulfed. Thankfully he was okay. We had the same problem last year with the cars, but that was a Ford problem typically last year. Some of the information that came out has said that this fire was caused by something that the team improperly installed, either the rocker box or something with the muffler. So hopefully we have the issue going forward resolved, but we'll definitely stay tuned to that. Because he had that fire, he had unapproved adjustments, so he wasn't able to qualify. So that kind of put them behind the 8 ball. During that practice, we had Chase Briscoe and AJ Allmendinger finding each other. Chase bumped AJ walled Chase. Okay, that was kind of that. Ryan Blaney had a qualification disallowed due to turning around. The rule used to be, even Mike Skinner talked about this on Skinner Roundup over the weekend. You could, as long as you didn't cross the start-finish line, so if you came off of 2 and you looped it or whatever, you could turn around, drive backwards on the track, and then basically almost start that lap over. So that lap sucked, but you had enough speed coming off of 4 to take the white flag for your second lap, and then your second lap would set up pretty good. Apparently they changed this rule and forgot to inform people of it. So because he did turn around and go back and try to redo that lap, he was disallowed, that lap time was. We had the 4 heat races, which we had, on qualifying, Justin Haley was fastest overall, followed by Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, William Byron, and Eric Almirola. For the heats, we had Eric Almirola won in the first heat, Martin Truex Jr. won in the second heat, Denny Hamlin and William Byron. For the last chance qualifiers, we had Chase Elliott and Michael McDowell winning. And so the 9 drivers that failed to qualify for 10 drivers that failed to qualify for the main event. We had Harrison Burton, or no, it was 9, 9. Harrison Burton, Brad Keselowski, Ty Dillon, Chris Buescher, J.J. Yeley, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Corey LaJoie, Cody Ware, and B.J. McLeod. Now, in the 50-lapper, the last chance qualifying races, J.J. Yeley, Rick Ware Racing, was a lap down. In the second race, the other Rick Ware car, Cody Ware, was a lap down, and B.J. McLeod was 2 laps down. I honestly feel we need to make this a little bit more, not just everyone that has a charter. Because if you look at the overall speeds, the bottom 5, we had Rick Ware, Spire, Liv Motorsports. Below that, yes, Ryan Blaney was below that, but he had the time disallowed because of what he did, and Ty Gibbs wasn't able to qualify. If teams like Rick Ware, Spire, Liv Fast Motorsports aren't going to have the resources to do anything, number 1, they don't need a charter. Number 2, they don't need to be invited to an exhibition race like this. To me, in a 50-lap race seeing somebody lap twice and they're in the way, that's bad luck for the sport. But we had 27 cars take the green flag for the 150-lap main event. We had 3 cars that had issues: Austin Cindric, Ty Gibbs, and Eric Jones. The 2 front row motorsports cars ran out of gas. How? Apparently, before you couldn't put gas in after the last chance qualifier, but you could after your heat. They chose not to for weight, and then they ran short about 10-12 laps. So we had 22 cars finished on the lead lap of the 150-lap main event, which is astonishing to me to have 22 cars in a quarter-mile track on the lead lap. That's freaking nuts. I know we did have lucky dogs and stuff, but still, that's still craziness. I think overall it was a pretty decent race. Well, yeah, we had people getting into each other. We had Bubba Wallace spinning his boss. We had Austin Dillon and Bubba Wallace having their little issue. Yes, Bubba Wallace threw a little fit coming off the wall and going into Dillon. We had Logano and Kyle Busch get into it. I love Kyle's comment at the end. That was pretty priceless. That was vintage Kyle Busch right there. Yes, there's a shit ton of cautions. I think if we would have had less cars on the track, that may have helped them get spread out a little bit. I don't think we would have had so many cautions. But my checkered flag for the weekend that was as Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum, the concept of taking NASCAR to new venues, the fact that we built a racetrack in the middle of a football stadium. How many football stadiums are out there? There's like 50, 60 of them, if you don't count college and NFL and Canadian. We could build a racetrack in any of them. I know, like Soldier Field, I think they moved their end zones in so it wouldn't be possible, but there's a million other ones you probably could. We have street courses out there. We have dirt on Bristol. Like I called in the Moody and said one night, we've done track instead of football field. We put dirt on a concrete track. Why don't we go ahead and pave a dirt track? Let's go to Knoxville and pave it and run a race. But yeah, my black flag, the low tier teams. Again, I don't think Vercoil Racing, BJ McLeod needed to be there. I know they're Trotter teams. This was an exhibition. I never, ever, ever want to see the Busch Light Clash back at Daytona. I know there's a lot of purists out there. Guys, I'm a legacy fan. I guess we came over that term over the offseason. I've been a fan since 1986. 37 years as a NASCAR fan. I don't want to see this race back at Daytona. We don't need it. Go to venues like this. Go to the Bull Ring in Las Vegas. My opinion would be whatever city, because we did it last year. We were in LA and the Super Bowl was in LA. Whatever city the Super Bowl's in, let's find a venue close to that. So it's in Vegas next year. Let's go to the Bull Ring at Vegas, 3 East Mile, right there outside of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Let's throw a Busch Light Clash on the Saturday before the Super Bowl. Or we can do the week before too, it don't matter. Make it the pole winners from the previous year and anybody that's ever won the Clash in the past. So, for example, we would have followed that rule in 2023. So then 2022 pole winners and then previous winners of the Clash. So we would have had Kyle Larson, Austin Cindric, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott. Cole Custer would have been eligible, but Ryan Preece was in the 41, what we've done in the past, if I remember correctly. The team, the 41, was eligible, so Ryan Preece would be in it. Cole Custer, if he found the ride with whomever, he would be eligible. Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. Now, Tyler Reddick made it. So Tyler Reddick was in the 8 car when he won the pole. He would be, the 45 would automatically make it because he won a pole in it. Kyle Busch would be in it because the 8 car won a pole. Bubba Wallace, Eric Almirola, Brad Keselowski, and William Byron. The previous winners that would be an opportunity to be in it would be Eric Jones, Mr. 7-time Jimmy Johnson, and then Kevin Harvick. It's 21. I think your previous champion, if he's not already there, which he is, but if he wasn't, he could be in it. You still have your heat races, you still have your main event and everything, but just make it special. Make it, hey, this was the reward for what we did here, like it used to be in the past, and have it on a Coliseum, have it on the Bull Ring at Las Vegas, put it on Five Flag Speedway, New Smyrna. And then the next year after 725, the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. There's a New Orleans road course. You get 2 years to get that to NASCAR worthy. Boom, Trans Am goes there. So I mean, it's an actual doable track. As long as it makes sense. If the Super Bowl is going to be in New York, that doesn't make sense in February for a race. Then you go to like the Five Flags or the New Smyrna or something like that. My hot or nots from the week, hot would be Kyle Busch and Richard Childress Racing. Both cars top 3. So the medal ceremony, Martin Truex got the gold, Tyler Reddick got the silver. Austin Cindric got the silver and Kyle got the bronze. A lot of people on social media were like, well, Austin Cindric got a silver medal, like the silver spoon in his mouth. People, whatever. He's the Daytona 500 champion. He's a Xfinity Series champion, Truck Series champion, uber talented driver. My takeaway from the weekend, NASCAR can make anything work anywhere. We made it work on dirt. We're making it work in the Coliseum. Street course is next. Oh, my not from the hot or not. My not would be the fans. Just the way they've talked on the channel, NASCAR channel today, and how they talk on social media. I'm just getting tired of it. It's getting old. I know the halftime performance and the pre-race performance wasn't everyone's cup of tea. Doesn't mean we have to have country. NASCAR is not tied to country. It's just people, whatever. Just get over yourselves. Hopefully, going forward, people will, but they won't. But that's just the way society is today. But that is the recap of the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. I think overall it was a success. I enjoyed it. I hope we do more things like this. The Busch Light Clash, the All-Star Race, those need to be held on not NASCAR normal. So we have 36 races in the normal season. There will be a video up before the season starts on my topic of getting the 40 races and then an RTA schedule as well. Stay tuned for that. But even with 36 races, Busch Light Clash, the All-Star Race need to be on non-racetracks of those 36. For instance, if we don't go to Rockingham, put the All-Star Race in. If we are not going to go to the Coliseum, if we do the Coliseum for the Busch Clash, the Bull Ring at Vegas, that kind of stuff. Don't put the Busch Clash at Phoenix, for instance. Don't put the All-Star Race at Texas again. Those need to be special events, exhibition events. Another topic this week was next year when Fontana gets redone, there's talk of it not hosting a race in 24, and there's talk of the Coliseum being a points race. No, please don't do that. Let's go 25 minutes from downtown Los Angeles, the streets of Long Beach. They kind of hold a street race there every year in little Indy cars. Why don't we partner with them? Maybe we delay that race till they do in April. So NASCAR has their West Swing. Maybe we do delay it, change the schedule a little bit. Or here's an outside-the-box thought that NASCAR has done before, so it's nothing new. Why don't we held the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum next year, because we have a 3-year contract. We take the week off of the Super Bowl. The following week, we come back out to Vegas, or back out to the West Coast. We do the streets of Long Beach as the opening race of the year, and the 500 is the second race of the year. Yes, they have done that. Riverside was the opening race for a number of years, so that is old school. Or what we could do, here's even an outside-the-box thinking. Run the Busch Clash at the Coliseum the Saturday before the AFC title games. The AFC and NFC title game. So last Saturday, basically. This Sunday, like this yesterday, basically, would be the Streets of Long Beach race as a points-paying race to start the season. We take next week off, and then we go to Daytona as normal. We just start the season a week earlier. Like Now, everyone that calls in satellite radio and says, well, this isn't, these quarter-mile tracks that's not NASCAR. Bull crap! In the 50s and 60s and the early 70s, we raced at Bowman Gray Stadium, which was a quarter-mile track. People have begged NASCAR to go back to Bowman Gray Stadium. This is literally just a classy version of Bowman Gray Stadium. It's Bowman Gray Stadium track with more classy people, because in Bowman Gray there'd be a fight on the front stretch. The streets of Long Beach replaces Riverside. We used to do back in the day, early, in fact, that was back in mid-January they did that. Hey, just my opinion. But as always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. Hopefully every Monday I have a recap of the NASCAR weekend. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports channel content.